Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Radha Shama Sundara Madhe Jai Radha Shama Sundara Madhe Jai Radha Shama Sundara Madhe Jai Krishna Balaram 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 Jai Jagannatha Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jai Jagannatha Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय सच्चिदानंदन जय सच्चिदानंदन जय सच्चिदानंदन गौर हरे जय सच्चिदानंदन जय सच्चिदानंदन जय सच्चिदानंदन गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरे गौरा गौरा गौर हरे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौरांग निताय गौरांग निताय गौरांग जय निताय गौरांग निताय गौरांग जय निताय गौरांग निताय गौरांग जय गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल एवं विश्वपाल परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय एवं विष्णुपाल परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव बंधु की जय नमाचार्य सरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनामाई की जय भक्त देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all reached to assemble devotees all reached to assemble devotees all reached to assemble devotees Hare Krishna all reached Shri Guru and Shri Guranga What jai ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय पुत्रे श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रहलाद लाददायिने शिलतांकानकालये शिलतांकानकालये इतो नचिमा परतो नचिमा इतो नचिमा परतो नचिमा यतो यतो यामि ततो नचिमा यतो यतो यामि ततो नचिमा नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमल परे नाकाम् अद्भुत शृंगा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल मरे नाकाम् अद्भुत शृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो भृंगा केशवद्रेता नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी हे गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हे गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुंजा विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much for joining today's class. Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Those who are on the phone, are you able to hear? Hare Krishna, are you able to hear? Okay. Those who are on the Google Meet, are you able to hear? I think earlier, Sridhar Prabhu or someone said
Yes, sir.
you are able
We
to.
can.
Okay. Thank you. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, titled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield, verse number, I think from 10. We'll see, we're supposed to go up till 19. Yeah, we'll see how much we can cover. This is the next section. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टाप्रयेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Okay, that's it. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1. Observing the armies on the battlefield is also called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Verse number 10. अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं तु इदं एतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अपर्याप्तं तु तत् अस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं तु इदं एतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम् अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम् पर्याप्तं तु इदं एतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्. Word to word translation. Aparyaptam, immeasurable. Tat, that, asmakam, of ours, balam, strength, Bhishma, by grandfather Bhishma, abhirakshitam, perfectly protected, paryaptam, limited, tu, but, idam, all this, etesham, of the Pandavas, balam, strength, Bhima, by Bhima, abhirakshitam, carefully protected. Translation by Juvenges, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Samshakopa, Shukopal Vijay. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Repeat. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Verse number 11. अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागम् अवस्थिताः भीष्मम् एवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागम् अवस्थिताः भीष्मम् एवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागम् अवस्थिताः Bhishmam eva virakshanto bhavanta sarva eva hi. Word to word translation. Ayaneshu, in the strategic points, cha also, sarveshu, everywhere. Yata bhagam, as differently arranged, avastitah, situated, Bhishmam, unto grandfather Bhishma, eva, certainly, abhirakshantu, should give support, bhavantah, you, sarve, all, respectively. Survey all respectively. Eva hi, certainly. Translation. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Repeat. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Verse number 12. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuro vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai sankam dadma pratapavan. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuro vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai sankam dadma pratapavan. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuro vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochai sankam dadma pratapavan. Tasya, his, sanjanayan, increasing, harsham, cheerfulness, kuru vruddha, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty Bhishma, pitamaha, the grandfather, Simhanadam, roaring sound like that of a lion. Vinodya, vibrating. Uchchaihi, very loudly. Sankam, conch shell. Dadmo, blue. Pratapavan, the valiant. Translation. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the great grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Verse number 13. Tata sankacha beryascha panavana gomukaha sahasaivaabhyahanyanta sa sabdas tumulo abhavat. Tata sankacha beryascha panavana gomukaha sahasaivaabhyahanyanta sa sabdas tumulo abhavat. Tata sankacha beryascha panavana gomukaha Sahasaivaabhyahanyanta sa sabdastumulo bhavat. Tataha, thereafter. Sankah, conch shells, cha also, berya, large drums, cha and pana va anaka, small drums and kettle drums, gomukha, horns, sahasa, all of a sudden, eva, certainly, abhyahanyanta were simultaneously sounded. Sa, that, shabdaha, combined sound, tumulaha, tumultuous, abhavat became. Translation. After that, the conch shells, the drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Purport. Verse number 14. Tata shvetair yukte mahati syandane stitau madava pandava chaiva divyo sanko pradadat mataha. Tata shvetairhayiryukte mahati syandane stito madava pandavaschaiva divyo sanko pradadat matuhu. Tata shvetairhayiryukte mahati syandane stito madava pandavaschaiva divyo sanko pradadat matuhu. Tata, thereafter, Svetai, with white haye horses, yukte, being yoked, mahati, in a great, syandhane, chariot, stito, situated, Madhava, Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Pandava, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, cha, also, eva, certainly, divyo, transcendental, sankau, conch shells, pradadat matuhu, sounded. Translation. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. This is the difference. Please repeat. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Verse number 15. I think we will stop at 18. We'll see. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Paundram Dadmo Mahasankam Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Paundram Dadmo Mahasankam Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Paundram Dadmo Mahasankam Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha. Panchajanyam, the conjure named Panchajanya, Rishika Isha, Rishikesha, Krishna, the Lord who directs the senses of devotees. Devadattam, the conjure named Devadatta, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, the winner of wealth. Paundram, the conch named Paundra, Dadmo, blue, Mahasankam, the terrific conjure, Bhima Karma, one who performs Herculean tasks. Bruka Udara, the voracious eater, Bhima. Translation. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean task, blew his terrific conch shell called Paundra. 16 to 18, 3 verses together. I think we'll stop at 19, only one more verse only. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakula Sahadevascha Subhosha Manipushpakau कास्यश्च परमेश्वासा शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकीश्च अपराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वश पृथ्वीपते सौभद्राश्च महाबाहु शङ्का दद्मो पृथक् पृथक् अनंत विजयं राजा कुंती पुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुल सहदेवश्च सुघोष मणिपुष्पकौ कास्यश्च परमेश्वासा शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकी च पराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथ्वीपते सौभद्रा च महाबाहु शङ्कां दद्मो पृथक् पृथक् अनंत विजयं राजा कुंती पुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुल सहदेवश्च सुघोष मणिपुष्पको कास्यश्च परमेश्वासा शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकी च अपराजितः द्रौपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथ्वीपते सौभद्राश्च महाबाहु शङ्खं दद्मो पृथक् पृथक् अनंत विजयम द conch named Ananta Vijaya Raja the king Kunti Putra the son of Kunti Yudhishthira, Nakula, Sahadeva, Cha, and Sughosha Manipushpaka, the consul named Sughosha and Manipushpaka, Kasyaha, the king of Kasi, Varanasi, Cha, and Parama Ishu Asha, the great archer, Sikhandi, Cha, also Maharataha, one who can fight alone against thousands, Drishtadyumna, the son of King Drupada, Virata, the prince who gave shelter to the Pandavas while they were in disguise. Cha, also Satyaki, the same as Yudhana, the charioteer of Lord Krishna. Cha, and Aparaj, the one who had never been vanquished. Drupada, the king of Panchala. Draupadeya, the sons of Draupadi. Cha, also Sarvasa, all. Prudvipate, O king. Saubhadra, the Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra. Cha, also Mahabahu, mighty armed. Sankhan, conchals. Dadmo, blue. Pratak, each separately. Translation. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Sikhandi, the Stradyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula, Sahadeva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Sikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Verse number 19. With this we'll stop. This is one section. Sagoshodaptarashtanam hridayani vyadharayat. It is concluding. You can see clearly the words. Nabhacha prudvim chaiva tumulo abhya nunadayam. Sagoshodaptarashtanam hridayani vyadharayat. Nabhacha prudvim chaiva tumulo abhya nunadayam. Sagoshodaptarashtanam hridayani vyadharayat. Navascha prudvin chaiva tumulo abhya nunadayan. Sa, that, Gosha, vibration. Datta Rashtanam, of the sons of Dhritarashtra, Hridayani, hearts. Vyadharayat, shattered. Nava, the sky. Cha, also. Prudvim, the surface of the earth. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Tumula, uproarious. Abhya nunadayan, resounding. You can see that clearly. Translation. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. You can imagine. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Om Tatsat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Mera Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrupat Aham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Om Tatsat. Thank you very much for joining. So here we are discussing the section 3 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, observing the armies on the battlefield. So first one is establishing the dharma, and we discuss in great detail, and also giving the description of the material nature, the qualities, and how those who are not executing dharma are executing based on deha dharma, jati dharma, all other upadharmas, but not executing the actual dharma of as per the even at least even on the platform of ashrama dharma. So Bhagavad dharma, then they will be removed like a unwanted plants in the paddy field. So those will they will be removed by the divine providence, by the divine will of the Lord. So then the second verse number 2 to verse number 9, we discussed many points. It is establishing the various aspects. So it is giving how to be a leader. The position and leadership comes with responsibility, and then that must be executed with the understanding that as a this service, this instruction, this position is given by the Supreme Lord. By mercy of the Supreme Lord and Guru and devotees, I have received this, and then executing with that as instrument, as a part, as a servant of them. So that is a nimitta matram bhava sarvisaj. And then we discussed a few other points on this, specifically materially blind and spiritually blind. Spiritual vision must be there, otherwise it doesn't give. So the one who is dependent on the material strength is not going to really get happiness in this life, even in the next life also. So that's why they must, living entity must dependent on the spiritual strength, and many other points we discussed in the last week. Now the next section by section, it is going one step so further. Now in this section, it is giving this section, you can see how from the verse number 10, the last verse is continuing from the last verse. The material strength, Duryodhana, with the diplomacy and enviousness, jealousy, the unwanted 6 qualities are being exhibited, and how he has initially criticized, how to take care of the guest, how to, when you invite the guest, taking care of the guest, whatever promise we give, then it should be, otherwise it will be like Dronacharya versus Drupada, what has happened. And you must be liberal. So we shouldn't be afraid of things. We must perform our duty as Dronacharya executed the duties. All these so many instructions we understood from that section. Now the last verse of that section is today's first verse, 10th verse, where Duryodhana is thinking, why all along he was thinking on a material strength we are going to win, because specifically is thinking of Bhishma. Bhishma is going to make us win this war. That is, because everybody knows Bhishma is a stalwart warriors, nobody can defeat him. And then he is old now, so that's why first he is comparing here. Is comparing Bhishma, how our side is, we have a greatest strength. We are protected by grandfather Bhishma, valiant fighter. Whereas the Bhima is not, they are limited. Bhishma virakshanta, aparyaptam, unlimited strength we have. Whereas their power is limited, the Pandavas side, because Bhima is always, Duryodhana always thinks Bhima only has body, doesn't have much strength, intelligence, that's what he thinks. He is always envious of Bhima. He knows if he has to die, he will die only in the hands of Bhima. So that's why he is using. Hold on, what happened? Network is gone. What has happened? I don't know what's going on. 1 minute.
Hello and welcome. Please enter your conference. Please enter your host PIN. There are 7 parties in the conference.
Sorry, somehow call got dropped. I don't know how. So Anyway, so we are discussing verse number 10, where Duryodhana is comparing the strength, thinking that Bhishma is going to make us win the war. So he praising him. We are protected on our side, Kaurava side. We are protected by Bhishma, a valiant fighter. Whereas the Pandava side, they are very limited. They are protected by in limited way, limited strength by Bhima. Compared to Bhima is nothing in front of Bhishma. That's how is putting. Then we can see the Bhishma Pitama understanding. So this is a comparison of material strength. On the basis of material strength, he was thinking Duryodhana. That is the last section of that last verse of today's first verse is the section 2. Now section 3 is beginning from this. It is showing the signs of victory. Signs of victory of showing all the signs one by one. You can see verse after verse. Already in the second section itself, hints are given by saying everybody is ready to give their lives for my sake. Tekta Jivita, Duryodhana is saying. So already it is already been told, all of them, both sides, everybody will be killed except the Pandavas, and then a few people. So everybody else will be killed in this battlefield. And then now in this verse, specifically verse number 11 onwards, we can see that how the Bhishma Pitama understanding the mood, understanding the desire of Duryodhana. He wants to fight, because he is thinking the Bhishma Pitama was very friendly to Pandavas, he likes Pandavas, so he might be lenient. So understanding the mood and the thought of Duryodhana, immediately he blew the conch shell with a great force. It is mentioned. Before that, because as mentioned in the 10th verse, immediate again diplomacy is bringing Duryodhana thinking, because I have praised Bhishma, then again others may think that they are not needed. If Bhishma is going to protect, everybody is protected by Bhishma, then what is the need of us? We don't need to fight. So that's why immediately he is saying that everybody, please, Bhishma is old. So Bhishma is old, everybody has to make sure they are in the strategic position, they don't move from their position and protect Bhishma. So that you can see how much Duryodhana is so much diplomatically is trying his best how to appease all of them, and somehow or the other he has to win this war and sit on the throne. Ayanechu sarvesh yatha bhagam avastita. Bhishmam cha evavi rakshantu bhavanto sarva evahi. So he is telling Dronacharya, all of you, don't think, so he immediately he flipped his plate. Basically, now further we can see immediately understanding the mood and the desire and the thought, the consciousness of Duryodhana. Bhishma understands. Bhishma knows. He is a Mahajana, so he knows what's happening, what's on the other side, who's going to win. Also, Bhishma knows without a doubt, because he knows. No, there is no chance for Kurus to win against Krishna when Krishna is there. That's what we see from these verses. Tasya sanjanayam harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha. Simhanadam vinodyoche sankam dadmo pratapavan. When Bhishma immediately blew the conch shells, sound like a roaring of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Only Duryodhana was joyful, because he just wanted this war to be begin, and it must be, we must have a victory. That's what he thought. So that's what Bhishma did, just to begin. But we can see clearly the difference from this verse and all other verses from further, from 14 onwards. How on Pandava's side, so many credits. They know who is the real enjoyer. They know who is the supreme controller. They know how to execute dharma. Everything, all the credits have been given. Further, to instigate, to inspire those who are on the battlefield, the next verse is spoken. All the drums, different sounds were. And they are beating the drums. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Now, so after that, these verses are important from 14, previous also, but mainly the more important meanings. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their conch shells. You can see the word here. Madhava Pandava Chaiva. Divyo Senko Pradadmatu. Tada Svetair Hayer Yukte Mahati Syandane Stito. Here, on the, so far, only Bhishma was mentioned, nobody else was mentioned on the other side. But Pandava side, you can see one by one. First one is Madhava Pandava Chaiva. So, Prabhupada is translating as Madhava, is goddess of fortune. There are many meanings for Madhava. So, Madhava, so especially Shri Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava, we are singing, Kunja Vihari. So, Madhava, one meaning is Madhava, here goddess of fortune. Yeah. So, and the other meaning is Prabhupada mentioned to Jananivas Prabhu, who is the head priest in our ISKCON headquarters, Mayapur Dham in West Bengal. So, Madhu and Va, Madhu and Va. So, the Madhava. Madhu is means honey. He is the sweetest. He is the most sweet. Va means the controller. All the whole world. He makes this everything sweetest in this whole world. He will bring. He attracts everyone to him. So that's why it's called Radha. He is taking the mood of Mayapur. He is taking the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is taking the mood of Srimati Radharani. So that's why it's called Madhava, Radha Madhava. So that is another meaning. So also Madhava. One is sweet. Another meaning is also there. And there are many, when Brahma prayed, when Brahma did first sacrifice, after Brahma was born, then Lord appeared as Madhava. Even when there are 12 Madhava temples, or Bindu Madhava temple in Prabhasa Kshetra in North India, where even Kardam Muni did so much austerity and penance and sacrifice. Then Lord appeared as Madhava. Then Kardam Muni cried with so much affection and tears and love. And with that, there was a lake, Bindu Sarovar. There is a Bindu Madhava temple there. Like that, there are 12 Madhava temples also. So, what it is explained, why the Madhava word is used is, it is already indicating the positive credits are being given on Pandava side. The first one is the goddess of fortune, the husband of goddess of fortune. It means they are going to win this war. On the other side, they cannot win this war, especially because this is protected by Madhava, goddess of fortune. The real fortune is there on Pandava side. And Pandavas means sons of Pandu. Here, Pandavas, Arjuna basically. So they are seated in the chariot. Divyo Sanko, transcendental. So that is also. On the other side, you can see in Bhishma side or Kaurava side, they didn't compare anything as transcendental nature. It is only of the material sound, like a lion, he blew the conch shell, but here it is mentioned Divyo, transcendental conch shells. And now we can see further. Madhav, Panchajanyam Rushikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya. So, Pandram Datmo, three. Here it is mentioned Krishna, Lord Krishna and Arjuna and his great devotee, his disciple Arjuna and Bhima. These three blew the conch shells, different conch shells. Then many names are used. Panchajanyam Rushikesho. Rushikesha means, Rishika means senses. Isha means controller. One who is controlling the senses of every living entity. Not just one. All living entity is called Rishikesha. So we'll come to that detail. Why it is used. And Panchajanyam is a conch shell. So Lord, here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna has many forms. Lord is taking what form? Dwaraka Krishna, Madhura Krishna. He is not Vrindavan Krishna. Vrindavan Krishna doesn't fight the battles. Okay. So this is the Dwaraka Krishna. This is not the highest form. So as I mentioned, Krishna, his only activity is enjoy the beautiful, wonderful pastimes with in friendship, rasa or Vatsalar with Yashodamai, or with his cohort friends, or with cohort girls, gopis of Vrindavan, conjugal rasa. In these three primary rasas, he is playing in Vrindavan. That is his main. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavis Tavirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalavi. Goloka Eva Nivasate Akilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Otherwise, he doesn't have any activity to perform. He doesn't have any duty like us, or even like other incarnations. So other Purushavasaras, they have so much duty, breathing in, breathing out, universe are coming in, they have to expand and Garbhodaya, all this. But Krishna specifically, he doesn't have any duty to perform. His only duty is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, amorous pastime, that is his duty. That is mentioned in the Upanishad. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Tat samasya adhikasya drishyate. Parasya Shaktir Vibhadaiva Suvite Swabhavaki Gnana Bala Kriyaja. This is Sveta Svatara Upanishad, explaining how Lord doesn't have any other any activity, not Asya Karyam. He doesn't have any activity. So his only activity is this Ananda Chanmaras. And he has so many multifarious energies. Gnana Bala Kriya, which is Sambit, Sandhani and Hladani. Hladani is the pleasure potency, which is Srimad Radharani, and expansions of Radharani is Lakshmi Devi and all others, including Durga Devi, all the expansions of Radharani, pleasure potency. And Sambit is Krishna's own energy, eternal, and then Sandhini is the Balaram potency, potency of coming from Balaram. Balaram is the in charge for Sandhini. He is the one who is expanding everywhere. Balaram is in charge for whenever Krishna appears. He appears sometimes as elder brother, sometimes he appears as younger brother. He always expands in so many different ways in each and every temple. Wherever you see, he is holding different things as a bed, as a conch, as a bell, everything, as asan, in so many different ways. That is Balaram, Sandhani potency. In Vrindavan pastimes also, when the demons come, when he walks, nobody can come close to him, nobody can fight with him. So all these, the lotus is like it is lotus. Balaram is expanding when the demons are coming, when he wants to perform amorous pastime, wants to bring close Krishna, close to his devotee, then he will bring close. So all these wonderful internal pastimes, Balaram is making it happen. So that is here it is mentioned Panchajanyam Rishikesho. Panchajanya is one of the conch shell. This is given because when there was a when Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani Muni Ashram, Krishna, Balaram, and Uddhava, and then one more person. So all of them went to Sandipani Muni Ashram to learn. After this is not in Vrindavan. From Vrindavan, Krishna came to see Mathura because to kill Kamsa, and then he went to Dwaraka. All of a night, that's the whole class altogether. From Mathura, he went. He created Dwaraka just in night, just in the night, because again Jarasandha is coming that time. There are two people who are coming. It's going to be much chaos and disturbance. So Krishna, by just his thought, he created Dwaraka within the night. Next day morning, then everybody was transported from Mathura to Dwaraka. So then that's where Dwaraka is a king. So this happened. So when he was there, when Vasudeva, his father Devaki and Vasudeva, where Krishna was born. So Krishna, when he was born, he appeared initially as a four-handed form, Narayana form. So Lord Krishna in this kind of form has these four things generally. In Vrindavan, Lord doesn't have this Kaumodaki, which is a mace, and then this Panchajanya conch shell, the Sudarshan Chakra. All these are not there. Only he has flute. Flute is the main thing in Vrindavan, because for all that wonderful pastimes, he doesn't need but he only uses again there also the Vrindavan Krishna, in Vrindavan also those killing the demons, that again the expansion of the actual, not the Shyamasundar Krishna, not the Yashoda Nandan is not coming in Nandanandan, is not playing that role. That is second role, Dwaraka Krishna, who's killing demons. Vrindavan Krishna is again doesn't play that role. But anyway, so the main activity is wonderful pastimes, that is in Vrindavan. But so there he doesn't have all these conch shells and Kaumodaki and maize and all this. But when he appeared with these four things, Panchajanyam, conchal, that's why you see Krishna is playing the conchal. So when Vasudeva, his father sent him to Gurukul, okay, you didn't learn anything in Vrindavan. He moved from at 11 years or 10 years or 11 years, he came to Mathura and Dwarka. So that's when Vasudeva sent his both Balram and Krishna and them, though also there, they went to Gurukul, Sandeepana. So that's where, after he learned everything, very quickly they learned, and then Sandeepana Muni was, they asked for but Guru Dakshina. When you learn from Guru, then you are supposed to give Guru Dakshina. Then Sandeepana Muni told what he wants. Then he told, please bring my dead child, because his son was abducted. So his son was abducted. So then he already Krishna immediately became so angry. Then immediately Krishna went all the way, because he was abducted by this demon Panchajanya, like a conch shell, demon and conch shell all the way in the ocean. So Lord Krishna went all the way down in the ocean and got hold of this demon, killed him. Then he brought back that his son, Sandeepana Muni's son, and his guru was pleased, blessed him. So that conch shell was named Panchajanyam. So the Panchajanya, the demon. So that's how Krishna got this conch shell, Panchajanya. So then Rishikesha, because Krishna is controlling the senses of Arjuna and controlling the devotees' senses. So that's only for those who are surrendered to the Lord, those who want to serve Him. So who is offering their senses, their mind, their body, their intelligence, then for them Krishna is controlling. Ye yatamam pravadyamsti tam stataiva bhajamyam. To the degree, if somebody wants to be atheist, he doesn't believe in Krishna, doesn't believe in God, then Krishna accordingly is giving that intelligence. Because super soul is there in each and every living entity. Even in animals, trees, plants, ants, in each and every living entity, not only human being. But only human being has the inquisitiveness, intelligence to inquire, to understand. So that's why it is very important. So that's why we must surrender. We must give up these bodily designations, material body dharma. Not give up. We have to understand what is the actual dharma. Not just, yes, we should perform our duties, but we shouldn't think that is body is all in all. Body is not the ultimate thing. It's a living entity, the soul, the spirit soul, the living force which is there in the body. When the body is dead, when the living entity passes away from this planet, then what will happen? The body is dead, it is lying there. What is the difference then? He is not speaking. He is not saying anything when he is dead. That means the living force is gone. Otherwise, body is there. We can see that. So that is the difference. The body and the soul difference. So that's why those who are trying to serve Krishna with all their senses, that's why it is mentioned, we have to give up the designation. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rushikeshu sevanam bhaktiruchyate. So only way we can, by serving the senses of the Supreme Lord. So because He is the enjoyer. If anybody wants a peace in this world, like in this warfare, you can see Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana trying to become happy, trying to please their own senses, enjoy their senses, but they are not understanding. Only way you can get happiness, real happiness, eternal happiness, in this life or next life, eternally, by serving the Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarvaloka Maheswaram Surudam Sarvabhutanam Jnatmamam Shanti Mrichati. The Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, Bhoktaram. So he is the supreme enjoyer. So that's why by serving Him, Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam. When we give up this designation, bodily identification, I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm doctor, or I'm engineer, or I'm this or that. So all these are bodily designations, the roles. So our main core identity is servant of the Supreme Lord. That is the main core identity. And that relationship should be whole in our heart. So, because right now we are not, even though Lord exists, we are not able to have that relation. We are not realizing that relationship. It is just like we have to have a really close relationship. Just like before marriage, only we have our side family relationship. But when we get married, then wife side also you will make a relation. on wife side also whoever is there, then their niece and all. So many, all of them become in relation. Until before marriage there is no relation. Same way, so that then you have a relation and then you become close and then you have a closeness and all. Same way when you are, until, even though Lord exists, just like your other side, wife side also, they all exist. But you don't have relation until that point. It's not realized yet. After the marriage, then when you see them, when you talk to them, and slowly and gradually. Same way, so with the Lord also, we have to really offer our senses, offer our service, engage in the service, as He is our Supreme Father, in a relation, with close relation, with that love, and that is our relation, loving relation. When you engage, then you will become more and more, and reciprocation will always be there because it is personal everything. Then it is more and more consciously we have to offer these services. So that is the main thing. It is not so much about the opulence or wealth or how much quality, how much quantity. And this is not the important. Main thing is important is with what devotion, what is our consciousness, with which consciousness we are offering, we are doing service. So according, then Krishna reciprocates. So then that is establishing our actual relationship or reviving our lost relationship. So it is like that we are bringing that connection back basically. So that is what it means. Panchajanyam Rishikesha. So by bringing that, when Krishna blew this conch shell and then Devadattam Dhananjaya, and the Lord Dhananjaya, because when after this or before, when Pandavas needed so much money, then Arjuna went and brought this money, Dhananjaya. That's why Dhananjaya is, because he is going to be, he is a great warrior, Gandiva Bhav, he has so many credits, so he can, so that's why this Dhananjaya, so that he can fight and win this battle and bring the fortune, just like he brought before. That's why Dhananjaya is used. Then Poundram Dadmo, this Bhima is a voracious eater, so he is a great, he does so much Herculean task. One person can fight so many without any weapons by his own hands. He is such a strong personality. So this is what has been mentioned here, and not only that, it is mentioned Poundram Dadmo Mahasankam Bhimakarma Rukodra. Yeah, I think in the next verse we'll see that. Yeah, and then further, this all the rest of the Pandavas, Ananta Vijayam, Raja, Kunti Vijay, yeah, Yudhishthira Maharaj, then Nakula and Sahadev, Sugosha, Manipushpaka, then other, so also blowed the conch shells. Then what happened? So it is mentioned, Sagosho Dharta Rashtanam Hridayana Vedharaya, Nabascha Prudvincha Tumulo Abhyanunadayam. So it is mentioned already there, all their hearts got shattered because Divyo Sanko, it's transcendental. So on the Duryodhana side and Dhritarashtra Kaurava side, there is no transcendental sounds. But as soon as the Pandava Krishna is there, it is mentioned Arjuna is there, Madhava, the fortune, the Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune is there. Later on we will see Kapidvajaha is also used in 21st verse. So that is Hanuman, great devotee of the Lord, and the chariot is being given by Agnidev, where Arjuna and Krishna and Arjuna are seated on the chariot. And then so the Lord, especially Lord Krishna, personally guiding and instructing, and so that's why everything is trans. Whenever Krishna is there, so there cannot be any misfortune, there cannot be any loss. It's always all your zeros. If you add one to the left side, then it becomes a million. So that is the value. Just by adding Krishna to our life, day-to-day activities, connecting with Krishna, everything in relation with Krishna, then it becomes transcendental. Material becomes transcendental. That is the main example. And main essence from these verses, what it is telling, how to gain victory. So how to gain victory? Victory over what? Here the main victory is not so much about the war. It is talking about how to gain victory over our senses or the gross body. How to develop detachment, especially because Duryodhana, the consciousness, the gross level, first of all, gross attachment we must gain victory. So that's why their minds and hearts are shattered. The next victory is, we need to gain victory over the subtle body, subtle mind, intelligence, ego. then only they will be able to come to the higher level. So this is like so the gross level is gross attachments we have with this body, with the beauty and strength and so many aspects of. That's why this is elaborately. This is only glimpse is given. This is elaborately discussed in third chapter or second chapter onwards. Jayato Vishyan Puntu Sangaste Shupajayate. How this each and every karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, the senses, the eyes have a vision, eyes and the eyes object of vision. So it has a certain attachment from the previous lifetimes and this life also. So just like when you go to any market or any shop in a mall, you see the advertisements. It is already forming. The advertisements are already there in front of the shop or outside the shop. As you drive, you can see all these imprints. Everything what we see is being formed into the chitta consciousness. This lifetime, previous lifetime, you can imagine. So same thing. This is just a vision, eyes. Same way with ears, sound. So whatever we heard, as soon as we hear, same way the touch, skin, something we touch and we feel. Before you buy something, we touch and feel. In this way, so each and every karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, both, especially the eyes. That's why the tongue, Ata Sri Krishna Namad Nava Ved Grahyam Indriye. So that's why tongue must be starting with the tongue. Tongue must chant the holy name. Tongue must taste Krishna Prasad, because tongue is the biggest culprit. Everything is in line. So the tongue must be controlled first. Then everything else can be controlled. So when the tongue is not controlled, the gross attachments. As soon as we see things, then we immediately get caught up. The attachment. If not that day, same day, it may be next day. That the thought process is running, thinking, feeling, willing, mind, job. So the gross body is attached. The eyes or the ears, the touch, the smell, the nose. In this way, as soon as sometimes you might be driving the restaurant, you may smell something, then immediately you may want to eat. You see something, you want to eat, or you want to drink. So many things. So that's why. This is gross attachment. We have to gain victory over gross attachment. So we can see Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana how much he was attached with gross attachment to his strength, material strength. Gross attachment they had. Gross attachment that they will win this war and want to sit on the throne. They want the puja and pratishtha, the enjoyment, material enjoyment, not in relation with Krishna. What responsibility he has received as a Kshatriya, what he is supposed to do. Completely he lost that. So what is the duty of a Kshatriya? It is mentioned Sauryam Tejo Dhruti Sauryam Tejo Dhruti. The Teja means Sauryam Teja, and power and strength, determination. So the especially Kshatriya has to have, and Ishvara Bhava, that means leader, and also what is that other one? Resourcefulness. Ishvara Bhava means he must be a leader. And that's why you see in the fight generally it is not like nowadays. Only the soldiers will go. Only some people will go. The Trump and the leaders, they stay here only. They don't go for fight. But on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, everybody except Dhritarashtra is blind. So he is there at home. But everybody else, Duryodhana side and Pandava side, both sides, 64 crores of people are assembled on the battlefield. Everybody is there, ready to fight valiantly. So that is the nature. But only daytime. In the night time, they used to again go from one camp to another camp. Even when Jarasandha fought with the Bhima, 28 days. Only this Kurukshetra war only 18 days. But Jarasandha and Bhima fought with 28 days every day. They stayed in Jarasandha's home. In the night they used to eat together and all. And the 28 days they couldn't win. And finally Krishna told what is happening, what is the weakness of Jarasandha, how to kill him. Then finally Bhima was able to kill Jarasandha. So this is the nature of but Kshatriya's principle is how to be resourceful, how to use the resources. Who is the actual giving the resources? Krishna is the one who is arranging resources, everything. All the necessities needed. So that's why by using everything in Lord service, thinking in that way, in relation with Krishna, then we will be able to. That's why when Yudhishthir Maharaj was ruling, when Parikshit Maharaj was ruling, when Rishabhadev was ruling, so the whole kingdom was everything full, all the necessities were supplied. No, nobody was suffering, and especially whenever Krishna is there, it gives so much, everything becomes transcendental. Even Lord Narayan wants to see Krishna. It's so much, it is so blissful. You can unimagine that much happiness we get, transcendental happiness. But since we don't have attachment, we haven't developed that relation and rasa with Krishna. That's why we are not able to see that. That's why it is a humble request to associate with devotees. That is the first problem. If we need to give up internal attachment, not external. Giving up, here in the whole Bhagavad Gita is all about how to give up attachment internally. Externally, we don't give up anything. We use everything in relation with Krishna. We use everything in Krishna's service. Our body, our mind, our intelligence, our family, our money, our car, everything, our cell phone, our laptop, our skills, technical skills, whatever we have, everything we use in Krishna service. There is nothing to be renounced. So that's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, whole Bhagavad Gita, you see, you'll never see renounce this, renounce this. Krishna is telling internally, renounce the thought process, renounce this designation, sarva upadi vinirmuktam, tat paratmen. Then, when you give up this, you are thinking, you are Kshatriya, you are thinking, oh, he is my father, he is my son, he is my daughter, he is my this, all, everything in bodily relationship. Give up all those designations. You forgot about the actual core identity, what relationship you have with me. Then you have relation with all others. So, right, first when you are married, before you have all other relations with everybody else on the wife's side, first you need to get married. With wife, first you have relation with her, then you have relation with everybody else on their side. Same way, first you need to have a relation. In order for us to develop loving relation with all others, whether it's a wife or kids or whoever in community and nation, with everyone, the other living entity, then first we must have the central relationship with Krishna. Then you have a relation with everybody else, because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Then we see, oh, they are Krishna's connection, they are Krishna's son, they are Krishna's daughter, they are Krishna's. Everybody is Krishna's. So then where is the contention? There is no question of contention. So that in order for us to really come to that, then we need to associate with devotees. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Hoy. Sarva Shastra Hoy, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So by simply associating with devotees, even the moments of association, even Lord Narayan is looking for association of Lord Krishna. You can imagine, because why? Why? Because there are four qualities even Lord Narayan doesn't have. Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Prema Madhuri. These four beautiful qualities nobody else has, even Lord Narayan. So one time, when Dwarka, when Krishna was there, Uddhava was there. So then Brahmana, one of the Brahmana, so his son, as soon as his son was born, is gone. Nobody could see what's happening. Where did he go? As soon as he was born, nobody could see, even wife and the Brahmana and Brahmana's wife, and nobody could figure out. So he tried approaching so many people, nobody could help. Then finally approached Arjuna. Then Arjuna, Gandiva, sometimes he got puffed up. Then Krishna wants to teach him a lesson. Then Arjuna said, he came, when they approached, then Arjuna, okay, next time I am going to help you, and I can see and I can bring back, no matter where he is, whoever doing this, I can protect you, and I can, if I am the holder of Gandiva, so I am this, so many things he says. If I cannot do this, then I am going to jump in the fire and give up my life. So just like even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, Arjuna has done this kind of promises. And then obviously Krishna is Aham Bhakta Pradina. He Aswatantra. So he is not independent. Krishna is independent actually. But when it comes to devotees, pure devotees, he is not independent. He is dependent. He is dependent on his devotees. So that's why I say, so even though Arjuna sometimes maybe gets proud and does that, but still Krishna will teach a lesson, but still he wants to be controlled by Arjuna. He wants to be controlled by the devotees. That's why he is controlled by Yasodhama, he is controlled by the gopis of Vrindavan, he is controlled by always, even Ambarish Maharaj. That's why he is controlled by the devotees' love and affection. That's why Krishna is telling Durvasmuni, I cannot do anything. You better go back to Ambarish Maharaj, the devotee whom you offended. I cannot, because I am controlled by him, by his devotion, by love, by his love. I cannot do anything. My Sudarshan, I cannot stop it. You have to go and take forgiveness, then only. Durvasmuni went all the way Brahma, Shiva, and Vaikuntha, but still he couldn't do anything. So then Lord Vishnu told, you have to go back. Then when he went and apologized to Ambarish Maharaj, Ambarish was so humble. He said, no, you are greatest yogi. There is nothing you did wrong. So then when he gave him, but still he gave his forgiveness, then Sudarshan Chakra stopped by itself. There Krishna is mentioned to Durvasmuni. Aham Bhakta Paradina. I am controlled by my devotees. Asvatandre. Sadhu Grastavir Hridayo. I am situated in the heart of a devotee. I am nowhere. I am not in Vaikuntha, I am not in here. Tatra Tishtami Narada. Mat Gayanti Mat Bhakta. Where my glories are sung, where my devotees, I am there always in their heart. I am there wherever this my pure devotees are singing. That's why it is very, very important to associate with those greatest devotees, advanced devotees, those who are always thinking of Krishna, always trying to serve Krishna, distributing Krishna's name. So that's why here we can see, so that Lord Narayana also wants to see, especially Rupa Madhuri, most attractive. He is the all attractive in the whole world. Nobody is attractive than Krishna. Because you can see why is it so? Why is Krishna all attractive? Because if you say that somebody is attractive by beauty, by somebody might be attractive by wealth, somebody might be attractive, but he has everything all in all, 64 quality, everything in full. Other incarnations may have some, but Lord Krishna is fully exhibiting all 64 quality, everything in full. Full of riches, full of name, beauty, everything. So, and our renunciation, everything, fully renounced. Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, and nobody, no other incarnation plays flute. That flute also, that has its own pastime. The flute itself, the gopis of Vrindavan are thinking, what pious credit you have done, what transcendent pious credit, what kind of activities you have performed. We are not able to be in association like flute. But what and all you have done? You are so fortunate. You are so fortunate that you are always with Krishna. So you are always with Krishna. Your Krishna's lips are touching your flute. But you are simply born on the lake. You are just what do you call that? Fiber. You are just born on the lake. Imagine. So, but you have done so. What kind of pious credit you have done? So there is a whole chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita about the glories of the flute. Gopis of Vrindavan are discussing about the flute. That's it. And no other incarnation place. Neither Rama nor Balaram nor nobody else. Nobody else. So that's a Venu Madhuri. Leela Madhuri, and the pastimes, the way he performs. So no other incarnation performs. Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, and Prema Madhuri, the conjugal rasa, highest to the highest peak, Swakiya and Parakiya, with his own consorts and his, others, because everybody belongs to Krishna. So it is not in a material sense. Everything is transcendental, nothing material about it. That is the Lord. So Lord Narayana also attracted by Krishna's beauty, Krishna's flute, Krishna's wonderful pastime. You want to see. When can I see? Lord is not, he tells, even I am not so much interested about myself. I am interested about my devotees. In Bhagavad Gita itself, we can see that. In chapter 7 and then further, 9 and other chapters, few places, Krishna mentions that. I am very dear to those devotees who are always, Nacha Tasmat Manushya Kachan Me Prikrittama. They are the dearmost. They are always in my heart. I am there always in their heart. So Lord Narayana also looking. Krishna doesn't go even to Vaikuntha also. So even Lord Narayana thinking. So So one time this Brahmana, this boy was, as soon as the baby was born, they were then they are gone, disappearing. Then Arjuna gave this promise. Then when the second time baby was born, then again disappeared. And Arjuna came and he tried, he with his Gandiva bow, he went Indraloka, Brahmaloka, all planets in the whole, this whole universe, all the material, he went everywhere with his power. But nowhere he could find, Then he exhausted all his options and he is ready to jump onto fire. Then Krishna said, okay, hold on. And then Krishna told, they are not there. They are in the Vaikuntha Loka. Lord Narayan is holding. Then he took Lord Krishna, put him on his chariot. Then he throwed his Sudarshan Chakra in front of the chariot. And then so it is giving the path, is illuminating everywhere. So the chariot went all the way, crossed over the material universes, 7 layers, and the Viraja river, entered into Vaikuntha. Then it went to Mahavishnu, Lord Narayan. There he could see. Then he could understand, because Lord Narayan wants to see both together, Arjuna and as well as Krishna. So then then obviously then the two sons were brought back. And in this way, they came back again with Lord Krishna's divine power. You can see divine pastimes. How? Because how he was controlled by Arjuna told. So beautifully, Acharyas explained. Then Vishwanath Chakra Thakur and Sridhar Swami, all these are explained. This is in 10th canto. Before canto also it is. This happened before Kurukshetra war actually. This happened before Kurukshetra, but this is explained in 10th canto later on, after the war. Because this is magnanimity of Krishna's pastimes. So then Krishna told Arjuna, how come this happened? Why did Lord Narayan do this? And then Krishna told, only for you, because Lord Narayan knows I will not do this. I will not come to see him. I will not go to Vaikuntha. So no possible, because only when he is controlled by his devotees, love. So that's why only way, because Arjuna was there. He did out of his love to save him, to give his mercy, to give his affection for Arjuna. So that's why he did. Lord Krishna went to Vaikuntha to see Narayan, to bring back. So that is the only reason. Arjuna asks Krishna about this. This is explained from Harivamsa Puran, quoted in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, I think 89th chapter or so. Yeah, last but one chapter. 10th canto, you'll find this whole conversation between this Lord Krishna and Arjuna and this Brahmana who approached Arjuna. How Krishna brought back these two sons of Brahmana. So in this way we can see even Lord Narayan got attracted by Lord Krishna's this Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri and Prema Madhuri. These 4 wonderful pastimes. So that's it. It's a very, unless we develop this loving relationship, so we have to give up this, we have to gain victory over these material senses, material body, so especially the gross body. So only way we can give up is by association of devotees, constant, regularly hearing, chanting and hearing, and also association of devotees. As much as possible, especially Balram Jayanti, Janmashtami is coming up, we should try to serve him, try to serve the Lord and his devotees, try to offer whatever things we can do. Special things we can offer, whatever within our capacity, within our time, whatever we have. We should plan now itself. August 3rd is Balram Jayanti, Rakhi Purnima, also called. It is also called, that's when Yajurveda and Samaveda Upakrama, which means where we change the thread, Brahmin thread on that specific day. Throughout the year, if we are not changed, but that day definitely we change. There is a whole process to do that. I think 2-3 years back we did that. Brahma Muhurta Prabhu came and performed with all the pujaris, and he did. That's the whole process to change the thread and to bring back, energize. Actually, we do so much chanting, so many times Gayatri, energize again. We ask for forgiveness. We bring back. We energize. There is so much process to do it. Basically, bringing back our consciousness, purifying our consciousness. That is the main process. Yajurveda Samaveda Upakrama means it's not just simply changing the thread. Much more process is there. Gross and subtle, many levels of purification is there in that process also. Anyway, so the Balram Jain is very important, approaching and serving Balram. So that's why the giving up this material, the external bodily attachments, gross attachment with the eyes, the ears. So as soon as you see the advertisement, then your impressions are formed in the mind. So in order for us to remove, just like before enter into Bhakti Yoga, now you can see, even though others we see the meat, we don't get attracted because we have developed Vishaya Vinavartante Niraharasya Deham Rasavajjam Rasopesya Param Društva Nivartate. Just giving an example. Even though we look at things, it's not that we hide, we close our eyes as soon as we don't see the advertisement. No. Devotees also, the materialist also sees, the devotee also sees. But what happens to a devotee, what happens to a materialist? When the materialist goes and sees things, whether it's a food or whether it's some advertisement related to clothes or jewelry or whatnot, so many things you could see, unwanted things. But the materialist immediately gets caught up because the senses and sense objects, because it is not purified by Krishna's holy name and Krishna's prasadam, it is not, the intelligence is not sharpened, then automatically you are grabbed onto, because all the full consciousness inside the mind, all this chitta is there for many lifetimes. All this is not cleared up. That unwanted things are not cleared up in the mind. So then automatically we get immediately attached with the agitation without knowingly, unknowingly itself. As you see it without you develop increased attachment, then you want to eat or you want to buy that, you want to immediately do that activity. Sometimes it's just the same day. You cannot even control. There is no other way. Immediately agitated. This is not just one. Everybody goes through this. But when somebody is more you advance, as a devotee also in the beginning stage, still some things you will not be able to control. Just giving up coffee tea also will not be able to control. But only when you really associate with devotees, those are advanced and we are constantly executing day in, day out, every day, reading Bhagavad Gita. That's why I humbly request again and again, share these classes, and again and again, you can see the first time when we discussed Bhagavad Gita, the level of understanding, the details are more and more, it is going depth, because as you become mature and mature, it is our consciousness, our understanding, our thought process, the reflect, everything changes. So that's why it is maturity comes only when our devotion increases, on our attachment, our service to the Supreme Lord and devotees increase, then we'll understand. Otherwise, it is just the first chapter means it is just assembled on the battlefield, all the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they are ready to fight. That's all we see, observing the armies. At the most, we think that Arjuna lamenting, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That's about it. There is no further discussion. But if you go deep, each and every verse, we can see how much depth is there, how much to learn, what we are supposed to do. This is telling about how the transcendental victory, if we need to gain, then how we have to, somehow we have to develop this attachment to devotees on the Lord and His service. His glory is in the holy name, because all the powers are there included. It is mentioned in the beautiful verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita. By simply somebody who is glorifying the holy name and the Lord's activities. Let me bring up that verse. I forgot. Where did it go? We'll cover next week, I think. Somehow I lost it. One who is glorifying the holy name and his activities, then automatically he will be able to get strength, and he will be able to become liberated and develop Krishna Prema. He just need to follow the process of chanting the holy name and associate with devotees, and here that faith, with strong faith and determination, he has to do that. Then automatically he will attain Krishna Prema. In this way, so we see that the gross attachment. So the devotee, when he goes, then he will not be attracted. Even though he sees the same thing, he hears the same thing, he is touching the things, but he is not getting agitated nor attracted, whether it's a food or whether it's a jewelry or clothes or cell phones, electronics, whatever you name it, n number of list we can give. But he is not attracted to any of them. As he matures more and more, then all his things, initially it will be there slowly, little better than materialist, but as we mature, then automatically all our unwanted things, the attachment, we have gross attachment, that will be cut, because we developed higher taste. Just like when we tasted Krishna Prasad, it is just like that. Prabhupada is giving the example in China and other places. People used to come 20, 30 miles to eat the duck or birds, special food, fried one. They are coming so much distance just to buy that. They are attracted by this thing. But Prabhupada is explaining, if they have the same, if they have consciousness, if they divert that consciousness, they don't know that. But once they taste the same cheese, the milk comes from the cow and the cheese, the paneer, if they fry and then if they do so many varieties, if they eat that, once they taste the Krishna Prasad in those varieties, then they will not never eat again other things. They will never get to taste. They think that this is nothing. All these other things are nothing. Because that is there. Because we haven't developed a taste for actual real thing. Krishna Prasad, so much power, so much taste is there. You will never go for any other thing. You will not even be inclined. Even if some 100 people are eating around you, you will not even feel anything. You don't even want to eat. You don't even have a desire or agitation. Not a single thing. So not only food. In this way, so all gross attachments. Whether it's the eyes or the ears, the tongue, the skin, all these gnanendriyas, all these attachments will not be there. So this is the victory we need to gain, transcendental victory, not the material victory. Yes, Duryodhana is thinking to gain material victory. And material senses, all is material, gnanendra, karmendra, everything is absorbed in this enjoyment for the body and the senses. So that's why the senses must serve. So that's why Rishikesha word is used. So that's why as we mature, as we more and more try to our senses are offering our senses in the service of Krishna, the tongue and all these various gnanendriyas especially. So that's why the hearing is important, because the intelligence is getting sharpened. As we are hearing, as we are in the association of devotees, all these consciousness, whatever imprints we have from these different objects, what we see in this life and previous life, everything gets washed off. So that's why even if you see that, then those imprints are all gone. So as you mature and mature, more and more service, more and more association, then all those things are getting wiped out and the other imprints are coming. Krishna's service, Krishna's devotees, there all those imprints are there in the mind, the consciousness. So then automatically that overpowers the all other dirty things. That is what bees. Where will the bees go? Bees will go where the real honey is. Bees knows exactly where. It doesn't go for every flower everywhere where there is no honey. It knows exactly. Same way when the devotees, everywhere all the flowers are there, but bees knows exactly where the actual sweet one, where the honey is. Same way the devotees also, they when the same thing they see, they go. They have to associate with other people also, outside people. They have to go to the market where there might be meat, where there might be so many things, but still they are not agitated by it. They know where to go and they know how to be always protected by Krishna and his devotees and his love for Krishna. Automatically protects, because if we develop higher taste, we know what is the highest, what is the best thing, what is not important. This is the gross attachment. Then the subtle attachment, subtle is mind, intelligence, false ego. That is even further. So that's why the chapter 2, Krishna goes further in great detail, because in the first chapter he is not going in that detail. This is only giving the glimpse how to get this transcendental victory. But this is where it is beginning. This gross and subtle. So how to gain really victory over our senses, our gross body and our subtle body, the mind, intelligence, false ego. So that's why intelligence must be sharpened. That is the first thing. So that's what we do by chanting the holy name. So that is the main thing we have to do. So Jato Mat Kataro. So Na anirvinno na atisekto. One, yeah, the other points addition to that is not only having a faith, chanting the holy name and serving the devotee, but it is also neither too attached nor too detached. That means he knows exactly, because some people are too much attached to material things, fully attached, and they are not in relation with Krishna, fully attached to the material energy, in relation with the bodily enjoyment. But the other side, too much detached, fully detached. That means even if somebody gives money, you will think, no, I don't want it. Rather, that money can be used in Krishna service. How Prabhupada used to take everything he used to offer in Krishna service. Because everything in relation with Krishna you can use. That's what we discussed in the last verses also, section 2. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. All these leaders, all these people's names mentioned because in relation with Krishna. Otherwise, there is no point in discussing Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita, everything is about Krishna only, in relation with Krishna only. So that's why we are not talking about material victory. We are talking about transcendental victory. We are talking about in relation with Krishna, how we can develop attachment with Krishna and use everything in Krishna's service, our senses, our body, our mind, so that we can get over this material victory and attain spiritual. Material victory automatically will follow. When spiritual transcendental victory means material victory is always there. It is mentioned that yes, Shastra vidhim mustrija vartate kamaka na siddhim navapna la labate brahm. One who is not following rules and regulations, Shastra, which is coming from Krishna, so then they will not have happiness in this world, they will not have even in the next world. Na siddhim navapnoti. No perfection, no happiness. But one who is following automatically, because it is karmana daiva netrena janto deho bhavate. Krishna is looking, karmana daiva netrena. Daiva is looking, nobody can hide it from him. Janto means all living entities. Deha, by using this body we are performing various activities. So then automatically Krishna is seeing and awarding the different bodies to the degree what we are performing. So that's why, so how to get out of this birth, death, old age, disease. Yes, everybody will give away from this life. Yes, but we will attain spiritual body. Instead of taking again and again, going through disease and all these so many things. We first of all develop that spiritual body before you leave. So that is possible, but it is our duty how much we can understand and use, and we have nothing to lose. So we have so much Krishna Prasad, we can eat as many times as possible, we can chant, we can dance, we can use everything, we can have money, we can have a big home, we can have everything, whatever, we can have car, everything. There is nothing that we shouldn't have. We can do IT job, whatever. Everything can be done, but everything must be in consciousness in relation with Krishna, using everything. So then that automatically, that's why this Varna and Ashrama is there. Even in that also same thing, everything becomes Ashrama because everything in relation with Krishna. Varnashrama sarvata purushena paman vishnor aradhyate nanyattat tosha karanam. Everything, all the Grihastha ashram, Vanaprastha ashram, whatever ashram we are in, everything is in relation with Krishna. When you perform everything, then automatically it becomes, we develop attachment to Krishna. So then that will be the perfection of our life. At the end of life, we will live very peacefully and we will attain spiritual body. The Krishna will remember us, even if we don't remember. Whatever situation, however we pass, it doesn't matter. So it could be accurate, it could be in any way, but Krishna will take care. So that Krishna is giving that assurance. As Lord Ramachandra is giving that assurance, Krishna is giving assurance throughout Bhagavad Gita. Sakrut deva prapannoyas tavasmachayate. One who has given up, just I am yours. Sakrut means surrender. Prapanna means surrender. Sakrut means once, just once, one time. Just one time thinking that I am yours, I am surrendering unto you. I am surrendering and I am yours. Sakrut deva prapannoya tavasmacha yachate. One who is begging to Krishna, Lord Rama, whatever incarnation, whatever relationship we have with whatever incarnation, when you are surrendering, especially Vishnu or Krishna's form, prapanno tavasmacha yachate. So then automatically abhayam sarvada tasmai. I am giving that assurance, full protection. Abhayam sarvada, all the time, not one time, all the time. Abhayam sarvada tasmai. Dadami edam mama. I am full assurance, you will attain me, you will come to me. without a doubt. So, so many places, so many different ways Krishna is explaining, but still we have doubts because we don't understand. Krishna doesn't mean just alone. Krishna means all his energies, all his material world, spirit, everything we have to understand, all in all, everything in detail. Then we have a conviction, we have strong faith, we have full protection, we are fully surrendered. But until that comes, that means that's why we have to read and hear regularly. Then we know what to do, what not to do. So how to protect ourselves. So everything we will know. Krishna gives intelligence. So this is the crux of this specific section. That how we have to gain victory of over our material senses. How we gain victory over our gross body, gross senses, and then subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So it has to spiritualize. The mind must be spiritualized. The ego must be spiritualized. So the intelligence has to be spiritualized. So that is the main purpose of this specific versus transcendental sound. How it should shatter, just like it is shattering the sound by simply transcendental sound. It shattered the hearts of Duryodhana and all the 100 sons, Dhritarashtra and everybody on the Kaurava side. So that same way, when we hear this really we pay attention, even one time chanting the holy name purely, we can attain our Siddhadeha, our spiritual body. One time. Because we are not able to chant because pure name. Why? Because so much unwanted consciousness is there in the heart. That's why we are not able to see Krishna also. It's the same thing. Otherwise we can see Krishna. So that is the only purpose, because we are not pure. We have so much unwanted. Neither we desire. Even the desire must be also purified. So desire must be there. Desires will be there. It is not that we become desireless. Desires will be there. Individuality will be there. The relationships will be there. But it is all about the purification. It will become, everything becomes spiritual. Desires will be spiritual. Everything in relation with Krishna. Our form will be spiritual. Our mind will be spiritual. Our intelligence will be spiritual. Instead of false ego, it will be real ego. So that is what, in identification with Krishna. I am servant of Krishna. With that, we will stop here. We will open for any questions.